Of course, this Texas deadly rampage is adding pressure on Congress to act now. The House Judiciary Committee is planning to consider 3 gun control bills the week of September 9. But we should note the committee had planned to cut short its August recess. They were going to hold a hearing this Tuesday, but they had to postpone it because of Hurricane Dorian, of course, our other breaking news story today. But let's bring in right now a member of the Judiciary Committee and our friend here to this broadcast, Congressman Steve Cohen, of course, Democrat from Tennessee. First of all, let's talk about the situation right now. We know what your committee was supposed to be doing as of Tuesday. It's been pushed back a week because of the weather. But what were your first thoughts, Congressman, when you heard about what happened in Midland, Odessa yesterday?
It was just, I couldn't believe it happened. It's just another mass shooting, more people dead, randomly killed. And it was just, I thought it was so appropriate that we were having our hearing, which was going to be this week. It'll be just as appropriate and timely on September 10. But I wished we'd have had it this week, but the hurricane came, and Ted Deutsch is the sponsor of the bill on high-capacity magazines, and Val Demings is an important member of our committee, and they would have been in Florida with their constituents.
Okay, let's talk about the legislation that your committee is considering. This would ban high-capacity ammunition magazines. It would block guns for those that are deemed any sort of a high risk or anyone who's been convicted of a hate crime. But I'm curious what your end goal, both aspirationally and realistically, is, given Mitch McConnell's history of never even allowing a Senate vote on bills of that kind.
Aspirationally, it's to make the country safer, although you cannot make it totally safe, but make it safer for people not to be the victims of random gun violence, mass shootings, etc. Realistically, Mitch McConnell and Donald Trump will not do anything that the NRA does not want. They see the slippery slope as they see it, or the camel getting its nose under the tent kind of philosophy, and for those reasons they will do nothing. Donald Trump is seriously concerned, as he should be, about his reelection. And if he loses some of the NRA support and some of the people who just totally listen to the NRA and guns is their #1 issue, they could sit it out or not vote, and he's afraid of that. He puts his reelection, which is for his personal greed, first, and the safety of the public second. And we should always think, Alex, whenever we think of Donald Trump, we should realize he's individual one. He's a person who won the election, along with Michael Cohen, by violating the campaign finance laws and getting Stormy Daniels and Catherine McDougal to sign these releases and give them money. But for his position as president, he would be with Michael Cohen in jail, individual one.
Look, I just want to let everybody know, and you as well, Congressman, that we've been given a 2-minute warning. That happened a good 30, 45 seconds ago. So we're seeing this news conference getting ready to go, which we're going to take live. But Congressman, I want to ask you about the gun, about the president and his flip-flopping on the prospect of background checks. In the wake of the Texas, El Paso, and Dayton shootings 4 weeks ago this weekend, the president was suggesting that we needed to enhance background checks and further extend those who needed to be checked out before they're able to take a gun home or to their workplace or put in their car or take to a church, as anybody can do now in the state of Texas. He has flip-flopped on that. How did that happen? And tell me what you expect with regard to the president and Republicans in general supporting any kind of background check legislation.
He had a long conversation with the head of the NRA. I suspect that the NRA will not change their position, and I don't expect the Republicans in general. There might be one or two, a Peter King or Justin Amash, and there might be another one or two that will deviate from that. And therefore, it's going to be impossible to get anything passed in a major bipartisan fashion, and certainly not in the Senate, because Mitch McConnell is lockstep with the NRA and Donald Trump. You know, he told the Parkland parents that he was going to change the laws. He wasn't afraid of the NRA, and he would stand up and do the right thing. Well, he didn't. He crumbled, and he'll crumble here as well. He talked about mental health, and yet his administration was sponsored or supported, and the Republicans passed a repeal of an Obama law that said if your Social Security had said because of mental illness you had lost your, you had to have, could get your disability, you were on a disability Social Security list because of mental illness, that you couldn't buy a gun. They repealed that, and it was the only time Donald Trump's ever been in bed with the ACLU. They're not going to be for any gun changes. They've let mentally ill people get guns. They will not stop anyone from having a gun. And background checks might have stopped this man from having a rifle. You don't know. You might have, the red flag laws might have stopped him. Maybe somebody, one of his family members would have said there was some problem here. We don't know. We don't know when he got his gun. We don't know if he had a warrant out for his arrest. We don't know any of that. We'll probably learn a lot in the next news conference. It's just so sad that these people died.
Yeah, oh, it's absolutely tragic, and we are looking at the preparations for that news conference, and we do expect to hear a lot more, perhaps some answers to that. We are seeing Governor Greg Abbott of Texas, Congressman, as well as officials from the local police force, it looks like Sheriff's Department as well. So, Congressman Steve Cohen, you're welcome to stay with us and listen to this. We thank you very much for your insights thus far.